Hello, this is Quentin Brooks with Kerem Hashem, Messianic Jewish Congregation. And right now in Kerem Hashem, we're trying to encourage everyone to familiarize themselves more with the philosophy and theology, the history and culture behind Messianic Judaism. It's not as uniform or as cut and dry as many would like to believe. And so the first thing we're encouraging everyone to read right now is Voices of Messianic Judaism. I really like this book, because what we have here are very prominent founders of the Messianic Jewish movement, and they all have different points of view about certain topics within the Messianic Jewish world. For example, what is the value of liturgy? How do we train our children? Should we go to churches on Sundays, or should we just go to Messianic synagogues on Shabbats? All sorts of different points of view are represented, but none of them are particularly, I feel, destructive. I feel they're all very responsible, well-written papers. Even though this was written 20 years ago, it still holds a lot of water. So I'm trying to get everyone to at least familiarize themselves with some of the philosophy and theology presented here, particularly the first two chapters, which deal with liturgy. We're doing that with our Friday night group and with our Shabbat morning group. For our Shabbat morning, we're also going over the Synagogue Survival Kit. I like this because it provides just a good base for how do you behave in a synagogue, what are the major things you should expect to see. For example, what is the Aleinu, what is the Vishamru, what is the Amidah? Just about everything that you'll need to know is in here. And so far, some reactions I've heard from this is this explains everything. This explains why Quentin dresses the way he does. This explains why Matthew sings the way he does. We're going over this. It's going to lay a good foundation for what is a synagogue, how do we behave. When we reach the Amidah section of this book, we're also going to skip on over to Aaron Evie's First Steps in Messianic Jewish Prayer. I really like this book. I especially like the part about the Amidah and the Avinu Shebeshamayim, the Lord's Prayer. I love how he all ties it into the Mashiach, and he says all of this is about the Messiah and the Messianic era. So we're going to go over those two chapters in particular, but I highly recommend, along with Voices of Messianic Judaism and the Synagogue Survival Kit, everyone pick this copy up a copy of this book and just give it a read through. We have several copies in our sanctuary. If you cannot come to a class, or if you can't come to one of our services where we're analyzing this, then please feel free just to drop by, pick it off the bookshelf, and just give it a little read through. Please don't take it home with you. We need these copies here. But we have about 7 copies of this. We have, I think, 11 copies of Voices of Messianic Judaism, and we have 4 right now of the Synagogue Survival Kit, although we plan on getting more. And our goal here is, once again, we're laying the foundations of who we are, what we believe, and we want to go deep before we start building up. I feel that we kind of need to know who are we and where do we come from before we can start growing and moving forward as a congregation. And as anyone who's heard me teach before, I believe that Messianic Judaism needs to be a lifestyle of study. After all, Christianity, Messianic Judaism, and Judaism, these are academic faiths. Oh, they're much more than academics. They're spiritual, they're authentic, but that doesn't mean we're not academic. And at the same time, academic doesn't necessarily mean we're not sincere and we genuinely follow the Lord. There needs to be a balance. And so partway, what we're trying to do is address the one side of the equation. What do we believe? Who are we? Where are we going? So I find this to be an incredibly exciting season. I'm thrilled to be going through some of this literature. And if you can't sit down and have a discussion with us, then we have the books available for you to read here at Kerem Hashem. See you this Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.